I am always excited to jump in here and talk a little bit about some of the things that you can uncover using ChatGPT as a tool if you're in sales. So, if you are a selling founder or a sales rep or anyone that just has interest in learning more about the art, science, and nuance of sales, this is for you. All right, I'll introduce myself in just a little bit, but I'm going to share my screen really quickly here and we're going to dive in. And just to be very upfront, I'm using a GPT that I developed by sales for sales. And I'm going to give you just an example. I've already kind of gone through this process, but I thought I'd share it here. So I say, hi, chat. I'm building a target list of B2B companies that have sales teams of 20 plus people in the state of California. They should have a revenue of 10 million to $100 million. I'm especially looking for companies experiencing sales inefficiencies. Can you list 10? All right, it's going to go in here and it's going to follow my instructions, just like regular ChatGPT would, but it's going to come back with a target list of five. Tells me what cities they're in. They're all in California. Great. Not for any other reason than I'm sitting in California. Okay. And it's going to tell me a little bit about what they do. Okay. Then we're going to keep going. And these five reflect a mix of industries, great, across California. Each has enough scale that a 20 plus person sales team is realistic. That remains to be seen. We'll validate that as we go. And then I'm going to ask it. So one of the things that the Aligned Sales Companion does is uh, Chad typically will just continue. Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to do this? I've actually programmed the GPT to say, add three more, right? And add three more or pause, right? So a lot of times we have to pause to implement it. So I said, let's pause here. I have a few questions. Can you provide the CRO or the VP sales contact for these companies, right? So glad you paused. Great, great. And this is what I found for actually the five companies. All right, so great. So we've got all their names here, and we've even got a little bit of information on a few of them. All right, so we go through it, and it's asking, right, as chat typically would, it probably is going to give you the first one. It's probably going to give you the second one in terms of sales intelligence. The third one is where it goes off into the unique path because I've provided this based on my heart-centered framework. And the heart-centered framework, you can ask the Aligned Sales Companion what it is, but I'll break it down quickly for you. So the H stands for human to human. Our sales processes have to be very humanized today because obviously we are in an era where most are leveraging artificial intelligence. And that's a good thing, but it also elevates you as a human. The E is enlighten and edutain. So you want to be enlightening or providing insight to your prospective buyer, but as well, you want to be like a person that they'll want to work with, right? An organization that they want to work with, because there's nothing worse than you've got a super, super straightforward client, very kind of stodgy, and then you work for a company that's just like all out, having a great time, playing around, and the vibe just doesn't really align. Okay, so where was I at? The E, the A is for action. You have to take action, and it should be measurable action and measurable results. So if you're taking action and you're doing the activity, reach outs, etc., whether it's reach outs, discovery calls, proposals, negotiation, or closing deals, you want to measure that the revenue generating activities, but you also want to measure the results to be sure that the activity that you're doing feeds to the results. And then the last T or the T is timing, timelines, and triggers. And I actually love this because I used to really stand on triggers, knowing that at any moment there could be a compliance issue that companies had to respond to. And if your organization is the company that fulfills that solution so that they can be in compliance, triggers are a good thing. What I've found over the years is that triggers, the compliance or piece of this doesn't always happen. It doesn't always stick. One minute it could be that there's a compliance issue and everyone has to comply. And in the very next week, the very next breath, it becomes No, it's fine. It's not constitutional. It's not required. It's not a big deal. It's not valued or whatever the case may be. So a lot of times compliance issues stick. A lot of times they don't. So that's why I don't really put that at the top of my list anymore. At the top of my list today is timing because we all know that if you are introduced to someone and the timing is right, that you're what they were looking for, the solution's what they're looking for, they actually have a problem that needs to be solved. They know that they could leverage your services now and or in the future. That's a timing scenario. We've all heard, oh my gosh, you called at the right time. And then that middle one, timeline, has to do with someone saying, um, you know, this is of interest, but we don't have it, slated until the end of the year or the beginning of the year. Or we don't have this slated to happen for another 2 quarters, right? So wherever you are, the timeline means that they have it maybe in budget and on their radar, but not for X number of months or years. Okay, so that is the heart-centered approach. That's a very short version of it. And this is what you're going to lean on when you come into the Aligned Sales Companion. I will link the product in the not in the description so that you can go check it out. But again, it's going to say, let's expand. So we're going to keep going. Some of this basic chat GPT would give you, and some of it would not. So it's going to tell me how to authentically and effectively engage CROs and VPs of sales. And again, it's going to be a guided approach based on the heart-centered framework. And so you'll see that it gives you some things here. What you may notice is you will never, I won't say never because I'm not in here for every single query. You should never see hope all is well. Hope all is well with you. Trust all is well with you. I was just following up. Those things should never float. They should never be in the email. Okay, so you'll notice drops right into, we've noticed scaling sales teams from 15 to 30 people often hit a friction point. Noticed flow casts momentum and growth in the SaaS finance space, right? So it's giving you your trio or your 5 up for your series. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pause it here. Let you go check it out. Tell me what you think. Come back with comments. Again, the Alliance Sales Companion is completely positioned based on the proven heart-centered framework. I'm Cheryl Parks. I've sold over $25 million to Fortune 1000 companies over my 25 years in corporate sales and 5+ years with my own practice. And everything I'm doing now is powered by AI, ChatGPT, and some of the other tools. And I really wanted to get more of this out to selling founders and salespeople that need this to show up as their authentic, efficient, focused selves. All right. Thanks for listening.